Modern applications rarely work alone. Every day, they communicate with other applications to share information and perform useful tasks. The technology that makes this possible is called an API. Think of an API as a bridge connecting different software systems. It allows applications to exchange data safely, quickly, and efficiently. In this lesson, we'll learn what an API is, why it's important, and how it powers modern applications, including AI services like ChatGPT and Gemini. Let's get started. Here, we have two different applications. Each application has its own purpose and its own internal system. Instead of communicating directly, they send requests through an API. The API acts as a trusted messenger. It receives the request, sends it to the correct application, and returns the response. Because of APIs, different applications can work together, even if they were built using different technologies. This is how modern software systems share data and provide powerful features seamlessly. API stands for Application Programming Interface. Let's understand each part. Application refers to a software program, like a mobile app, a website, or a desktop application. Programming means developers write code that allows applications to communicate. And interface is the connection point where two applications exchange information. An API does not expose how an application works internally. Instead, it provides a simple and secure way for software systems to send requests and receive responses. This allows different applications to work together without needing to understand each other's internal code.
Imagine if every application had to build every feature from scratch. It would need its own payment system, its own maps, its own email service, its own weather data, and even its own AI model. That would take a huge amount of time, money, and effort. Instead, applications simply connect to existing services through APIs. As you can see, one application can access many powerful cloud services using a single API connection. This allows developers to reuse trusted services, reduce development time, and build better applications much faster. That's why APIs have become an essential part of modern software development.
Let's understand APIs with a simple restaurant example. Imagine you are the customer. You don't go into the kitchen to prepare your own meal. Instead, you tell the waiter what you would like to order. The waiter takes your request to the kitchen. The chefs prepare the food. Then, the waiter brings the finished meal back to your table. An API works in exactly the same way. Your application sends a request to the API. The API delivers that request to the correct service. After the service finishes the work, the API returns the response back to your application. The application never needs to know how the service works internally. It simply sends a request and receives the result. Now, let's see how an API works, step by step. First, a client application sends a request. This request might ask for AI text, weather information, or payment processing. The API receives the request and forwards it to the correct server. The server performs the required task. It may search a database, process information, or generate an AI response. Once the work is complete, the server sends the result back through the API. Finally, the client application receives the response and displays it to the user. This simple request and response cycle happens millions of times every day, powering modern applications across the internet. Whether you realize it or not, you use APIs every single day. When you check the weather, your phone requests the latest forecast through a weather API. When you use Google Maps, the app retrieves maps, directions, and traffic information using map APIs. When you shop online, payment APIs securely process your credit card transactions. Many websites also let you sign in using your Google, Facebook, or Microsoft account through authentication APIs. And today, AI applications connect to services like OpenAI or Gemini to generate intelligent responses. Behind almost every modern app, an API is working quietly, connecting services, and making everything work together seamlessly. Let's see how an AI API works in a real application. A user types a question, such as, "Explain machine learning." The application does not generate the answer itself. Instead, it sends the user's prompt to an AI service through an API. The API forwards the request to the large language model running on powerful cloud servers. The AI processes the prompt, understands the question, and generates a response. The answer is then sent back through the API to the application. Finally, the application displays the response to the user. This simple process happens in just a few seconds, making AI-powered applications fast, intelligent, and easy to build. Not all APIs work in the same way. There are several types of APIs designed for different purposes. The most common is the REST API. REST APIs use HTTP requests, such as GET, POST, PUT, and DELETE, to exchange data. Most modern web services, including OpenAI and Gemini, use REST APIs. Another type is GraphQL. GraphQL allows applications to request exactly the data they need in a single request. And then we have WebSocket APIs. Unlike REST, WebSockets keep a continuous connection between the client and the server. This makes them ideal for chat applications, live notifications, and online games, where information must be updated instantly. Choosing the right API depends on how your application needs to communicate. In this course, you'll use APIs to build real AI applications with C# and .NET. Your application doesn't contain the AI model itself. Instead, it sends the user's prompt through an API to an AI service running in the cloud. The large language model processes the request, understands the prompt, and generates an intelligent response. That response is then returned through the API to your application. Your application simply displays the result to the user. By using APIs, developers can add powerful AI capabilities without building or training their own AI models. This is why APIs are the foundation of modern AI development and an essential skill for every software developer.